So I had a couple of limiting beliefs, like, there's no way that I can invest outside of my backyard, New York City, because, I'm here in New York City, right? And if I have to do it, I gotta find somebody out of state. How can I trust them? You need a lot of monies to start. I should start probably small, like single family duplexes before going to multifamily. Education is a cost. These were the general limiting beliefs I had, and how I crushed them through right education and not listening to the naysayers and surrounding myself with highly motivated people, like-minded fellow investors, and being connected to good mentors and right partners, just constant action taking, grinding, trying my best, trying to add value to the team, and lastly, falling in love with the process. That was the key.
Welcome everyone to the Multifamily Deal Structuring Monday, where we will discuss about the apartment deal that our guests have closed in the past. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified whenever a new episode is released. Our guest for today is Yosef Lee, also known as Yosef, your brosef. Yosef is a believer, a father, lawyer, multifamily apartment syndicator and investor, a people connector, a status quo hater, a strategic planner, a pilot's studio owner, entrepreneur wannabe. So Yosef has a vision to achieve control of his own TPO, time, place, occurrence, through financial freedom. He used a cash-flowing multifamily apartment investing as a tool to create generational wealth and financial freedom. Here's the episode. Hi, Yosef. Welcome to the Multifamily Deal Structuring Monday, where we will discuss all about your first GP transaction. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, Jeff, for having me here. I'm very excited to talk about my first deal.
Yeah, perfect. So if we can start by telling us about yourself.
Sure. Briefly, I am South Korean immigrant. I live in New York City. I'm a lawyer, do civil litigation, W-2 position, and father of 2 girls, 8 and 10 years old, and aspiring to be a multifamily investor for the future, probably full time. And here I am.
Yeah, that's awesome. Then, do you have any real estate experience prior to that first multifamily transaction?
So not really. I haven't done any single flipping or duplex or anything. I just straight went into multifamily.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I think that's really good for you, because I heard people saying, if they will start all over again, they will just start directly into commercial. So which is good.
Right. That's what I heard from podcasts, and
yeah,
the big guys are saying that I could do this. Then I'll just go straight to it.
Yeah. Then, where are you currently located?
So I live in New York City, the town called Douglaston. It's part of the Queensboro in New York City.
Okay. Then, how did you end up in multifamily?
So just looking back, I went to law school with a dream of being like a wealthy, cool attorney. In 2013, I passed the bar exam, New York, New Jersey, and, became an attorney, started working in a firm, just thinking one day I'll hit the financial freedom. Fast forward 2018 and 2019, still hustling, working hours and hours, but I was nowhere to reach, right? I make some money, spend all, just my living expenses really high, and just leave to pay the bills. So, I love my job, but it's the way it is. And I happened to read the book from Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad and Poor Dad, and realized as a W-2 employee, I'm kind of trapped in a rat race, right? So that's where I started seriously about maybe being an investor or my business owner myself. So that's how I started looking into a different investment vehicles. I did some mutual funds. I tried some stocks. I tried some REITs and ended up being into real estate. And among all, I came to a multifamily because all the benefits that the multifamily apartment actually provides, it was no brainer to just not to do it.
Okay, yeah, nice. Yeah, by the way, like what law practice are you doing right now?
So I'm a civil litigation. Usually mostly I do insurance litigation, like accidents, construction accidents, car accidents, premise liabilities, a little bit of like wage claims, but mostly accident cases.
Okay, okay, got it. Yeah, when you started this first deal, any limiting belief that you have, and how were you able to overcome it to get to your first deal?
So I had a couple of limiting beliefs, like there's no way that I can invest outside of my backyard, New York City, because I'm here in New York City, right? And if I have to do it, I gotta find somebody out of state. How can I trust them? You need a lot of monies to start. I should start probably small, like single family duplexes before going to multifamily. Education is a cost. These were the general limiting beliefs I had, and how I crushed them through right education and not listening to the naysayers and surrounding myself with highly motivated people, like-minded fellow investors, and being connected to good mentors and right partners, just constant action taking, grinding, trying my best, trying to add value to the team, and lastly, falling in love with the process. That was the key.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So yeah, I think let's jump to your first deal. What's the source of this deal?
So one of my partners was a boots on the ground in Kansas. His friend actually knew the owner, so we were referred to the owner through him. It was an off-market direct to the seller that way. But because my partner's friend was involved, we ended up, paying him for finder's fee.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As part of the closing cost.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. So it's kind of it's not like it's kind of a bird dog or a wholesale kind of.
Yeah, he actually functioned as like a wholesaler guy, but it was just a direct to the seller.
Mm-hmm.
So he just introduced us to the seller. He was in the middle, communicating between us and the seller. It was nice.
Okay. So this one is in Kansas, you said.
It's in Kansas, yes. More specifically, town called Lawrence, Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay. Then how many units is this?
So this one has 44 units in total.
44?
44 units in total, all
okay.
2 beds and 1 bath.
Okay, okay. Then what's the class of this property?
So the vintage is 1963, so I'll consider that as a C class property.
Okay. Then do you know what's the story of the seller? Why are they selling?
So I believe the seller wanted to scale up to even bigger complexes, like over 100 plus units. So I think he was trying to get rid of the smaller multifamily properties. So that's why he was kind of motivated to sell.
Okay, yeah. Then for the T12 and rent roll, was there anything that stands out when you were reviewing it?
So this acquisition process was relatively smooth. T12, what stood out? Like there were not that many red flags in this property. I think the concern I had back then was the expense ratio was kind of lower than the usual rule of thumb of like a 40 or 50%. Mm-hmm. I believe it was below 30%. Oh, wow. So my concern was either they're exceptionally running that well, or
yeah,
or they're really not taking care of the property. But it was the latter. The seller was motivated to sell, and he, according to the property manager back then, the seller was not approving, the plans that property managers are suggesting. So He
So
was he
yeah.
was probably all right because he's collecting the rents and all that.
So probably yeah. So at least a lot of deferred maintenance most likely.
Yes, yes. But I
Okay.
had a blue flag. I noticed was the rent was below market about close to 150 to 200
Oh wow, nice.
compared to
Yeah.
other properties.
Mhm.
So it was a good property, I think, with huge upside.
Yep. 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 That's good. Like if you can get a property that's already below market, so then it
Yes,
will be easier to kind of raise the rent. Yeah.
right. One behind story on that is this. I think originally the developer developed this property with 88 units, and then they probably divided in half and sold these two complexes to different owners. So
Oh.
we had an exact mirror image property across the street, and we could compare the price of the rent. Our price was like we said, $200 lower, with exact same footage, square
Oh.
footage, and exact same layout. So
Okay.
we
Yeah.
were sure that we could raise this rent.
Yep. Yep. Because yeah, if it's exactly the same as the one opposite, yeah.
Right. And I believe one of our partners, we did ghost shopping. We called them and to confirm the rent price, and it was, yes, about 200, 250 higher than our.
Oh, that's nice. 200 will be like a good amount of increase.
It is. It is
Yeah.
definitely.
Yep. Then for this one, how much was the original asking price by the seller?
So seller's whisper price was about, I think it was 2 million.
Okay. Then how much were you able to get it for?
So our strike price was 1.825 million.
Okay.
So the contracted price was that 1.825.
Okay. Then what's the economic vacancy of the property when you bought it?
According to the T12, historically it was over 90%, and when we took it over, it was still above 90%. So it had a strong history of economic occupancy.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and another thing I want to add to your previous question about the price. So throughout the due diligence, we found the roofing and HVAC are really old, which we kind of expected because it's an older property with deferred maintenance. But it was like really old. So we suggested the seller to, fix it or repair it before the closing. We negotiated, ended up seller just giving us $100,000 seller credit. So we
Okay.
actually acquired it $100,000 lower, so 1.725.
Okay. So it's a seller credit of 100,000.
Yes.
Then for this one, how is the financing breakdown when you close on this? Is it like a Fannie Mae or?
So this was through community bank,
Okay.
and we knocked on the door for 3 community banks and tried to find the best deal. And one of our partner, who's from Kansas City, he happened to be like a high school buddy with this vice president of the community bank that we ended up using. So he was able to give us, good deal. So this was 4% interest rate and 25M and 18-month interest only.
Okay. Wait, so the 4% interest, then 25% down payment.
25% amortization. Our
Oh,
payment,
25 years amortization.
yes, and it was 80% loan to cost.
Okay.
So we had about $250,000 rehab cost that we implemented in the underwriting. So
Okay.
20%, we got 80% of that through the bank.
Okay, then 20% you need to raise. Then
Yes.
what's your term on this? Like how many years to pay?
Loan term is a 10-year.
10-year. Okay. Then yeah, this one, is it like a JV syndication?
So this is JV deal. So we didn't have limited partners in this.
Okay. Okay. Then what's your business plan on this property?
Let's see, business plan. We currently we have but I think we had before 3 units that were vacant. Now we filled in 2 units. One, it was a first floor. It is 2-story buildings, 6 buildings total. So the first floor and the second floor both were turned, and we were able to raise about $200 for the second floor and $300 for the first floor.
Wow, 300.
300, yeah. So the second floor, we didn't do much. We just had two-tone paint and new carpet and nothing heavy lifting or anything. The first floor, same thing, two-tone paints, and I think we put the luxury vernier plank, and we replaced the door, and we were able to raise $300 bump. So this gives us the confidence that for the next 2 years, we will be able to turn entire 43 units, at least $150 to $250 raise, and it will be significant upside. So that's our part of the big business plan. And what else? We have many month to month. Well, so it's like over 50%. Now it's 25 units out of 43 units are month to month. So part of our plan is to convert that into a yearly lease, the long-term lease.
Okay, yeah. So these are lower those month-to-month one. Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds good. Like, how much is the rents there? Like for the 2-bedroom in that area?
So a 2-bedroom, the exact same units that I talked about, because these are all 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. It's about 700 to 750. Our property, the average rent is about 510.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So it's a really good amount of like yeah. Then for I don't know if because as a JV, what's when you're calculating this, like what was your cash on cash or that you're foreseeing or your returns on this?
So based on our underwriting and projection, the year 1 cash in cash return is 13%. But annualized, the average cash in cash is close to 20%.
20. Okay.
And we're gonna do cash out refi in 2 years after turning all the units with $200 rent bump. I think we're expecting cash and cash return goes close to 60% or over. Okay. Thereafter.
Yeah, then I guess like a cash out refi, at least you don't have any more, or if there will be any, it will be minimal.
Yeah, we're projecting probably take out 60 to 70% of all our money in.
Okay, nice. Then so going to the next section, the due diligence. What are the different due diligence that you did on this purchase?
So we had to do first physical due diligence, right? Our boots on the ground partner, he walked the property with the property manager, and he was videotaping it and taking pictures and sent it to us. And we had a separate inspector inspecting the property with us. So they had really nice, like in detail property inspection report where we could see all the pictures and his opinions as to how long this specific appliance will last in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, things like that with different colors. So it was really nice. And then we had to go to the financial due diligence. We did lease audits and try to match all the numbers with the T12 and rent rolls.
Oh yeah, for that you mentioned for the inspection. So that one, so is the inspector did it like in a kind of a color coding, or like, okay, this will be like a low, medium, large kind of repair, or that did they provide you exact what's the problem on the property? Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, as I said, the vintage is 1963, so we somehow expected some deferred maintenance. So we knew there's gonna be some issues with some appliances or issues with the property. So we went through the inspection and revealed there were some plumbing issues, some mold, mildew, and termite. So we reported back to the seller, this is what our inspector find. Can you, repair it, fix it, or resolve it? So before closing, the seller actually resolved all these issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest was the roof and HVAC system were very old. That's, previously I said, the seller ended up, instead of fixing it or repairing it, ended up, he's just giving us $100,000 credit.
Okay. So at least the bigger ticket items, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Then during the due diligence also, like, was there any discrepancy that you found out, like especially like the ones that they mentioned in the rent roll or T12?
Mm-hmm. I don't recall any major discrepancies or issues with that. Maybe there were some numbers that we could not verify, but given the fact that he was like true mom and pop,
Okay.
We didn't want to push too hard or too far with that, and our focus was just to close because the deal was a really good deal anyway for us. And it was like really true mom and pop. There was no PDF or anything report.
Yeah.
We got the box of like huge box of 100 papers lease. So manually my partner had to just scan everything into PDF.
Yep. Okay. Then so yeah, I think we'll skip the capital raise since this is more on of a JV. Yeah, how much was the capital that you need, by the way, as a JV?
So with the down payment and the 20% of rehab costs and all that, we had to raise about $600,000.
$600,000. Okay. So,
and we had 6 partners. So among us, we raised $600,000, close to 600. Yeah.
Yep. Then for the closing, do you recall what are like the different closing costs involved? At least this is a JV. What are the different items in the closing cost?
The closing cost, recall there was a legal attorney fees, right? A little less than $10,000, I think 8,000 something. And we had to do a property inspection, was 4,500. And we had appraisal at $3,000 or $4,000. We had to pay loan origination fee of 1%, it's about 8,000.
Okay.
And other legal documents, filing fees from the bank, like $1,000. Title, transfer, recordings, and all that, probably 1,000, 2,000. So overall 25,000 or 3,000, 30,000, 25 to 30,000 was true closing cost. And on top of that, we had, if you recall, we had our finder, right? My partner's friend who found a deal. So we ended up giving him the finder's fee, about $25,000.
Okay.
No, not 25,000. It was less than that. It was 17,000 something. Yeah. So overall, I think about 5,000 was closing cost. A little over 5. I mean, 50,000. I'm sorry.
Okay.
50,000 or a little over that.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. At least then for the what else? Yeah, for this property, right? So your partner will be the boots on the ground. So he's the one only kind of coordinating everything, like with the inspector, appraisal. Then everything is like you kind of done it remotely, I guess, right? Or how many partners do you have, like in boots on the ground on that area?
We have 6 partners, 1 boots on the ground.
Oh, only one. Okay.
Right, only 1 boots on the ground partner. He mainly deals with the property managers in person, just following on with him. And I mainly just do the operation side and asset management side, directly talking to the property managers, getting the report, and just coordinating things between the bookkeepers and other members. And we have other experienced partners who oversee things.
Okay. Yeah, then how did you find this property management? So at least is your partner in Kansas knows the property management company?
Oh yeah. So this property manager was the one who was serving the seller, previous owner. So
okay.
We were thinking about having our own property manager. We had a meeting with them. We kind of liked them, so we decided to keep them.
Okay. Yeah, I think they also wants to take care of the property. It's just like the seller doesn't want to spend money.
Right. Yeah, they told me. They told us that the
Yeah.
previous owner didn't want to spend the money to take care. So we said, let's try. So we have a 2-year contract with them.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay, so we reached the end of the show where I asked all the guests with these final 5 sizzling questions. So the first question is, any lessons learned that you want to share from deal analysis, due diligence, or financing, closing experience on this deal?
Okay. I'll say good team is critical. My partners, everyone, every single of them are great guys with highly motivated work ethics, great work ethics. So we had no problem discussing the deals like 10 at night, even 12 at night, midnight, all that. So I think first thing, you got to have a good partners with different skill sets, because we were able to divide the tasks and it was a lot faster and more better than working everything yourself, right? And also another good point of having a good partner is you can't close this big of property yourself alone, because the bank will ask you questions like who in your team has high net worth, who can sign the loan, who in your team has multifamily experience of this size, right?
Yeah.
Just because you have a bunch of cash, they're not going to let you close this one. You have to show different skill sets or experience. So that's why you have to have a team. If especially you're starting your first deal, you got to have a good team. And good relationship with the lender was another critical factor of us. We're able to close this deal more smoothly, because what had happened was on the day of closing, right? Everybody wired the fund for down payment. And then, we were just expecting to hear from our attorney that it's closed. But then one of the partners sent a text to everybody saying, for some reason, my bank denied my wire transfer. So it didn't go through. But I still have no money in the bank account. But the funny thing is our attorney said the deal was closed. So we were confused. Like, how come? Like, we have money here.
Yeah.
And we called the bank, lenders, and everybody. We realized that the lender actually allowed us to close even without his portion of down payment.
Okay.
So it was great, right? So that relationship is critical.
Yeah. I think that's really good, at least, because usually, like, if you don't have that relationship, they will not even close. And I think it's also depends on because I think the title company and the lawyer also has something. Sometimes they will not do it or something if the bank doesn't receive their money. But at least the bank, so which is a good. And I like also the part that you mentioned about the experience, because people, let's say, entering this syndication or even JV, like everyone is new, then they might oversee this experience factor, right? That we have the money, but if no one of you has the experience, you might get rejected, and now you will be kind of scrambling to find someone to do the kind of a KP.
Yes.
Yeah.
So upfront, just keep networking and meet a lot of people, put yourself out there, and form the good team. I think is a key.
But yeah, by the way, for your team, like, did you meet? Have you met everyone like through a meetup, or how did you build this team, or how did you meet them?
I met all the partners. Well, at least the key partners and core members from my mastermind group and my mentorship program, MIH Mastermind and Jake and Gino. I'm part of Jake and Gino community. So
Okay.
I met all the partners through that platform.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Then, going to the second questions, any recommended books?
Okay, books. I don't really read many books, but I read some books. Among them are, I think, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad is a great book to change your mindset, right? So whenever I need to recommend a book about mindset and motivation, it's always number one, Robert Kiyosaki. And if you want to learn overall multifamily investing, I recommend Will Profit books. It's written by Jake and Gino. It gives you the overview and rundown of every part of real estate and multifamily investing, from the acquisition, from management to refinance, refinance. So that's a great book. And if you want to know about specifically syndication, I recommend Joe Fella's Best Ever Apartment Syndication book. It's a great book that it lays down the step-by-step guidance as to what you need to do your first syndication.
Okay, nice. Then, yeah, for the third question, like any recommended podcast or YouTube channel that you're listening to and would recommend? I know like you have a podcast, right? Or a meetup.
I do have my own meetups, but no podcasts.
Okay, yeah.
So you can attend my meetups. It's a virtual, so and bi-weekly we do. It's a great networking platform. We have regularly about 20-30 people coming, and we have a guest. So it's a good way to network. And as far as the YouTube or podcast goes, I watch a lot of Jake and Gino podcasts, listen to Jake and Gino podcasts, and watch their YouTube channel. I love Michael Blank. So these two are my recommendation if I have to pick.
Okay. Then, yeah, so now the fourth question is, this is the time to promote yourself. What's your acquisition criteria for multifamily? So if anyone has a deal that they want to bring to you or your team.
So for now, we're targeting Kansas or Missouri, the Kansas City area. Unit mix, we're looking at from 50 to 100, sometimes over 100. We have a group of investors that have like more than enough liquid, so we can look at bigger deals. Class B, C mainly, but we do look at class probably B plus or A minus type as well. Okay. And so that's our criteria. Okay.
Then you're primarily focused at least only on that area, like Kansas City, Missouri.
For now, yes.
For now, okay.
Because of my boots on the ground partner. Maybe until we are established here, I don't know. I think over 500 units, and then probably I'll look at other markets. But until then, I'll probably focus there.
Okay, perfect. Then for the last question, what's the best way to contact you?
So I try to be very active on social media. I have Facebook page, Instagram, LinkedIn. All you can find me at yosefyourbrosef.com. Not .com. I mean yosefyourbrosef. BROSEF. That's my nickname.
Okay, Yosef Brosef.
Yosefyourbrosef.
Oh, yosefyourbrosef.
Yes.
Okay, .com. Okay. I'll also put it in the show notes. Then
thank you.
Yep. Then I can yeah, I'll also post your Facebook page. So I think we're friends, so I'll also add it there, and then yeah, your LinkedIn. Instagram, right. What's your Instagram handle? Is it the same or?
Same, yosefyourbrosef.
Okay, so okay.
So I'll send you all the social media notes.
Okay, then yeah, that would be good. Then I'll paste it in the show notes.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Yosef, for being a guest. Like, it was a great discussion.
Oh, is that already done? That was fun. Thank you very much, Jeff, for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay,
I'll see you again.
I see you.